Hi guys, it's Mr. B here, and in this video we're going to be looking at Roman numerals, what they stand for, how to read them and also how to write them. So let's get straight into it. So when we're looking at Roman numerals, the first thing we need to know is what the different symbols represent. Okay, so we just need to learn these. So we need to know that I is a 1, V is a 5, X is a 10, L is 50, C is 100, D is 500 and M is 1000. If you have a look at them there, you can see it's either 1, 10, 100,000, so we're going up in powers of 10, or it's 5, 50, 500. Okay, so it's when you're looking at a Roman numeral, it's going to have a 1 and a set amount of zeros, or a 5 and a set amount of zeros, depending on which one there. But those, unfortunately, we just have to learn them. There's no real trick. You might do different things. I is one of the easier ones because it looks like the number that it's representing. Okay, once you've learned them, you can get onto reading and onto writing them. So now let's look at how we can read Roman numerals, okay? And there's a set of rules that we're going to use in order to show you how to read, okay? So one of the first rules you need to know is we only put 3 in a row. How Roman numerals work is we only have those symbols to represent numbers. And what we have to do is we keep adding the different numbers, okay? So if you wanted 2, you'd have a 1 and a 1 because 1 plus 1 is 2. If you wanted 3, you'd have 1 plus 1 plus 1, which would equal 3. But we can only have 3 in a row. So if you ever see a number, you will never see more than 3 in a row. That's more of a rule you need to remember for when we're writing them, but it's good to keep in mind. Okay. Now this is, I'll go over this one first before this one, because this is our big rule that's going to help us with even the hard numbers like this. Okay. So we have this one here. Don't use numerals to make numbers that already has a symbol. What I mean is, because I say adding on, when we do 10, we wouldn't do V because it's 5 and 5 is 10, because we already have the symbol, which is X, so we don't need VV, okay? But this is the main rule that we need to do. What we have to do when we read a Roman numeral number is we have a look, we work from left to right, we look at the number, and when we have the number, we look at the next one, and the next one tells us what to do. If the next symbol is the same or less in value, then it works on its own and we just add the value of that digit to our number. If it is bigger, the next symbol along is bigger, then those two symbols work as one, and what you do is you take away your smaller symbol, smaller Roman numeral from your bigger one. And I'm going to show you how that works. It'll be easier once you see. Easy with this one, we have a V. We know V is 5. There's nothing with it, so it's just 5 plus nothing else is 5. Okay. Now we have our II. Okay, we look at I, which is 1. So first thing we do is we look at the next digit. Okay, is it the same or less? Well, we can see it's the same. It's 1. So that means it's on its own, and we just say, and that's 1, and that's 1. So our number is 2. Now let's see how the other one works. We've got here IV. Okay, so what we do is we look at our work from left to right. We look at this. We look at the next symbol. Is the next symbol the same, less, or bigger? It's bigger, so it means those numbers work together. And now what I do is my bigger number take away my small number. 5 take away 1 is 4. So my number is 4. Okay? So now we've looked at all the rules. Let's just look at some other numbers. So we have XX here. We know X is 10. So 10 plus 10, our number is 20. Okay? We'll move down here. We got XX again, so we know it's the same. Okay, so that's working on its own. Look at the X, the next symbol is smaller, so that works on its own. We get to the I, we look at the next number, it is bigger. So these two are working together. Now we do 5, take away 1 is 4. So we have 10, 20, 4. 24. So XXIV is 24. We've got one here. C is 100. The next one there is L, which is smaller, 50. So that's working on its own, 100. Our L, next one is 1, so it's less. So that is 50. And 1 is the last number, so it's working on its own, is a 1. So our number is 151, CLI. Then we start to get on the more complicated numbers. So look at this. Easy to work out because we already know our rules. So we've got D, which is 500. We look at the next digit, C for 100. It's smaller, so it works on its own. So we've got 500. Then C, we look at the next number, it's the same, so it works on its own. C, we look at the next number, is X. It's smaller because it runs 10, so we've got another 100. X, we look at the next number, it's L. So now we have a 10, and the number after it is bigger. So these two are working together. So we've got L50, take away X, 10, and that would give us 40. We'll go to our next number, I. Let's look at the number afterwards. X, it's bigger. So these are working together. And we have 10, take away 1, which is 9. So we have 500 plus 100, 600, plus another 100, 700, plus 40, 740, plus 9, 749. So as you can see, even the harder numbers, we're doing exactly the same as we are with our simple 4s, with our simple 9s, simple 20s, to work out what that number is. Now let's have a look at how we would write them and how we would use those rules. So let's look at writing some numbers using Roman numerals to represent our normal digits, okay? So we're still going to use exactly the same rules, okay? One more thing that we need to know, and we'll see about when we come on about it. Okay, so we know we just keep adding the Roman numerals, okay? So, what we have a look here is 3. Now, we know we've got 1, and we know we've got 5. 5 is bigger than 3, so let's start with our 1. We know we can do 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. And that one's simple, okay? With our 4, we go on, we have this rule. We can only do 3 in a row, okay? We can't do 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Otherwise, you would just keep doing that. And it means for big numbers, you'd have loads and loads and loads of I's or something like that. And it's really, really hard to work out what it is that you were doing. It'd take you ages. So what we do is we do the rule that we're doing here, okay? If we can't put smaller numbers in a row to add up to it, we have to go to the next biggest one. So 4, we can't use a 1 because we can't do 4 ones. So what's the next biggest value Roman numeral we have? We have 5, okay? So we know it's going to be something to do with 5. We need to work out now what we need to take away from 5 to make 4, which is 1. And it goes in front of it. So that is like 5 take away 1. Okay? So the same with 9. We look at 5, okay? If we could do 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 would get us 8, but we can't put 4 ones in a row, so we wouldn't be able to do it with smaller numbers. So what's the next biggest number? So we've got 1, 5, x would be 10. So we put an x down. And now we need to say, right, how many do I need to take away from x to write 9? And we need to take away 1. So that will be ix, or 9. Now we've got more than one digit numbers. Now this is where some people can get a little bit mixed up. And what I'm going to show you is because you need to do each digit and your place value separately, okay? So we don't have a 1, we have 10, okay? So I'm going to write 10. Easy, I've already got the symbol. Now, next number is 9. I've already done 9. I know it's 1 less than 10, so I do my 9 afterwards. So as you can see, I've got my two numbers separate, but they all go together, so it's XIX. Okay? Now here, 49 is a one where people can get tripped up. We need to follow our rule. What some people might think is, well, I know I've got L for 50, and I can take away 1, and that will be 49. That's not right. That's not the right answer. Okay, understand the logic in that, but remember we need to do each number separately. Okay, so we need to do 40 and then 9. So we need to do 40 first. 10, we can't do 4 10s in a row because we can only do 3 digits. So the next size Roman numeral we have is 50. So now I'm going to use a 50, which is L, and I need 40. So I need 10 less than that. So it's going to be XL is 10 less than 50, 40. Now I move on to my 9. Already got my 9. I know it's 1 less than 10. So that is actually 49. Okay. As you can see, I've got my 40 and I've got my 9. Remember that so it doesn't trip you up. The same with things like 499 would not be 500 take away 1. Okay. You would do 499. Okay. Here we've got 123. So we're going to do our 100 is C. Then now we need 20, so we can do XX, 10 plus 10, we're not going over 3 in a row, 10, 20, And now we need 3. Already did 3 up there. I. Okay, so CXXII is 123. Last one, let's go for a bit of a bigger one. We've got 1,420. 1,000, easy, I've already got the symbol for it. It's 400, I can't put 4 100s in a row. Remember my rule. So I need to go to the next number, which is 500. So I'm going to leave my gap for what I'm going to take away. So my 500 is D. How many do I have to take away from 500? I've got to take away 100 in order to make it a 400. So I'll put my C there. And now I need 20, which is X, 10, 20. Okay. If you've got a 0, you just leave it. You don't have to do anything else. So now I've got 1,420. And that is how you write your normal Roman numerals. I hope that helped you out. Hope you found that video useful, guys, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. You'll get notifications of any videos that I put up as and when I do. Please share it if you know anyone that will benefit from this and find it useful. And if you've got any questions or anything, comment or use the Twitter or the Facebook page. Till next time, see you later.